well, my dear?
I'm thinking.
Now, will you
Whoa,
come
stop you!
here? Now, Petya, that is not funny. I will not chase you all over this house when it's time for bed. Do you hear me?
Let them stay up, for goodness sake. It's still daylight.
Please don't interfere, Mama. I want them in bed before Pierre comes home.
Oh, he hasn't seen them for a month.
Well, he can see them in the morning. He'll be tired out by the journey when he gets here.
Oh, you know how he loves them. Let them stay.
No, I will not, Nikolai. Anyway, there's no knowing what time he's going to get here. Come on. No, Mama, please. No. Now, come on, both of you. Get undressed. And then get yourself washed. I'll see you both. Come along.
But I won't stay.
Come to Petya, I don't care if you want to go to bed or not. I said you must. Masha, I'll be with you in a minute.
You're too strict with him.
I am nothing of the kind.
You make everything revolve around Pierre.
Well, why shouldn't I? He's the head of the house.
Yes, but does he want it?
I know perfectly well what Pierre wants.
But does Pierre know?
Very funny. You would be far better off leaving those boots outside.
She's like a mad woman, the way she carries on. You'd think she was the only woman who'd ever had a family.
Natasha never did anything by halves.
Are you going to play that card or not?
I think so.
She behaves like the great Earth Mother. She'd do better to tidy herself up a bit.
Oh, Pierre doesn't notice.
Oh, of course he notices. He just doesn't say anything, that's all. Never seen a man on such a leash. If your father were alive, he'd tell him about it. You ought to say something yourself.
Leave them alone, Mama. They're perfectly happy.
I shan't be sorry to see them go home. Natasha gets on my nerves. You can't play a 4 after a 10.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that what you've been thinking about all this time?
Yes, how foolish of me.
Where are the children?
In the garden. Petya and Nadia are in the nursery being got ready for bed. They don't see why they should go to bed when their cousins are still in the garden.
Nor does anyone else. Ask my daughter. She knows everything. Well, I shall go to my room and lie down. Come, Katya. Come and read to me.
Of course. 4 after 10. I must try to remember.
Oh, Sonia, my dear, send the children up to me before they go to bed.
Yes, Mama. You look tired, dearest. You were up at 6.
I'm all right. Harvest is nearly in.
You worked too hard. A man in your position.
I'm all right. I don't want to see her.
But, my dear, you must. It's you she's come to see.
Then tell her we're out.
But I can't. She knows we're in. Ask Princess Bolkonskaya to come up.
What do you want to come prowling around here for anyway? Why can't she leave us alone?
But she's almost one of the family after all we've been through together.
Then you see her. I'm going to my room.
Nikolai, don't you dare leave this room.
Princess Bolkonskaya, madam.
My dear, how wonderful to see you. When did you arrive?
A few days ago. I have some business to attend to in connection with Andre's estate.
Princess, I hope you are well.
Yes, thank you.
Come,
Princess?
come, sit down and tell us all the news. Will you be in Moscow long?
About 3 weeks.
And is Bald Hills all restored again?
Yes, the carpenters left last week. Of course, it's not as it was in my father's day, but I was so sorry to hear of Count Rostov.
Oh, my dear, what bereavements we've all suffered this past year. However, let's not talk of that now.
How is Natasha?
Oh, she and Pierre are very close.
I saw them a few months ago in Petersburg. The baby must be due soon.
Ah, the blessed event. Yes, I shall be a grandmother at last. It's hard to believe.
And Vera and Berg?
Oh, sufficient unto themselves. They need no one. You know that Nikolai resigned from the army.
That couldn't have been easy for you.
I'm quite content.
Oh, he is not content. He does his duty. Oh, my dear, what else could he do? We were left with so many debts. As it is, you can see, we no longer live in the way we used to.
I'm sure Princess Maria doesn't want to know the petty details, Mama.
Well, naturally one hears things. I think it's splendid of you to have undertaken such responsibilities.
It was the only course I considered open.
You all lost so much in the fires. If there's anything I
Whatever
can do...
impression my mother may give, we can manage quite well, thank you.
Oh, I didn't mean to... I just thought... We are friends. I do hope you'll come and call on me while I'm in Moscow.
Oh, we shall, shan't we, Nikolai? Oh, it's lovely to see you again. We went through so much together.
Goodbye, Count.
I'll show you to your carriage.
Goodbye, my dear. We shall see each other again very soon. Of that I'm sure.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Princess.
Oh, I could hit Nikolai when he behaves like that.
Must be very hard for him, Mama.
Oh, you always defend him. Could at least have been polite. He used to quite like her. Oh, he'll never marry you, you know, Sonya.
And he won't marry her either, Mama. His pride won't let him.
I want you to return her call.
She has enough suitors dancing around her just for her money without adding one more to her list.
There you go again. Do you imagine that I think about nothing but money? I am talking about politeness. It's only polite to return her call.
Then you return it.
Nikolai! Understand, I have no interest in whether you like Princess Maria or not. I insist, as your mother, you have the courtesy to return her call before she leaves Moscow.
The Ryazan estate, of course, is still in trust for your nephew. But since Prince Andrei's death, you've become the trustee. You have power to sell if you wish.
Do you think I should?
Land is fetching a high price since the war.
I'd rather keep it if I could.
Well, take your time and think it over. There's no hurry. The rest of your affairs are in good order. You have your brother to thank for that. Will you be returning to Bald Hill soon?
Tomorrow, probably.
And what about this house?
I shall keep it on. My father always maintained a house in Moscow, even though he seldom used it.
Count Rostov is downstairs, Princess.
Show him up.
Count Rostov. Is that the son who was in the army? The Rostovs from Otradny.
Yes.
I hear they're in much reduced circumstances.
They lost a great deal in the Moscow fires.
From what I heard, the old Count burned up a good deal more than the fire. Still, I was sorry to hear he died. He was such a good-humored man. Goodbye, Princess. You may leave all the details to me.
I'm so glad you called. Is your mother not with you?
She has a cold. She asked me to return your call on her behalf.
I see. Won't you sit down? I hope it's nothing serious.
No, simply a cold. Well, have you attended to all your affairs?
Yes. Andrei left things in very good order. Moscow has really returned to life. So much is going on here.
Yes. It's back to normal.
I expect you go out a good deal.
No, not very often. Such life doesn't interest me. Seems such a long time ago since we met at Bogocharovo.
Yes. I think of it often. Do you sometimes?
I don't believe in dwelling on the past.
Oh, well, to think of it is not necessarily to dwell on it. Do you like your government post?
Oh, yes. I'm very glad to have it. Well, goodbye.
Oh, are you going so soon?
Yes, I have some calls to make.
You're unhappy. Why?
Well, when we first met, we all seemed to be in trouble enough. But you know that I'd give anything to have that time back again?
You mustn't regret the past. And you will always be proud of what you're doing for your mother and Sonya.
Please. I don't think that that is an interesting subject.
I'm sorry. I thought you would allow me to say that. You and I, your family and I were brought so near. They are so dear to me. You were different to me once, or perhaps I was mistaken. I don't know why.
There are 1,000 reasons. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you.
But why? Why must I lose your friendship?
Please don't.
Why?
Please don't. It can't be, it can't be.
But why not?
Because I've nothing to bring you. Nothing. I got nothing.
Why not, Papa? Why won't you play anymore?
He fell on it. He wanted to show you. I didn't realize you were asleep.
Oh, I must have dozed off.
What can we do, Papa? Mama says it cannot be mended.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give it to Matvey Yeremishin. He'll know what to do with it.
All right.
Off you go. What's happened to your ring?
I broke it. Oh, it only needs gluing.
How did you break it?
I hit the bailiff. Well, I know I shouldn't. Please, don't make a fuss.
But you promised.
I know. I lost my temper. Well, he'd been stealing the grain again, and...
It isn't right to lose your temper in that way. You harm yourself.
Maria.
No, you promised. Besides, it isn't like you. Let others hit their serfs. You don't need to. They admire you too much.
They wouldn't admire me if I caught them stealing and didn't hit them.
Yes, they would. Because you know as much about farming as they do. That's why they admire you. The master could coax grain out of a stone. I've heard them all say it.
You know, last week, I started negotiations to buy back the old house at Otradnoy.
You're changing the subject.
No, seriously. You know, in the last 6 years, I've paid off my father's debts without touching any of your capital. Now, I'm in a position to buy back the old house. I've even repaid the money I borrowed from Pierre.
I married a very clever man. Is that what you're telling me?
I couldn't have done it without you.
I'm well aware you only married me for my money.
Well, what a good thing you had money then. I might never have known how much I loved you.
Give me the ring. I'll have it mended.
No. No, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll leave it as it is to remind me every day not to lose my temper. Oh, I was a bit short with Sonya, too, just now.
Oh, Nikolai.
I know.
I'm sometimes unfair to her myself.
You?
Why is it? I can find no fault with her. She's wonderful with the children. She never interferes. She never reproaches us with a word or a glance.
Well, maybe that's the reason.
Do you still feel guilty about her?
Yes. Yes, sometimes.
So do I.
You? Oh, but you behave wonderfully to her.
I sometimes feel if she'd been as rich as I, you might have married her.
I don't think so, somehow. Oh, there was a time when I thought I would. discussed it with Natasha once. She said that she had the same feeling as I did.
What did she say?
She said that she had a presentiment that Sonya and I would never marry. That she was one of those people who seemed always destined to lose. That she chose to lose.
Did she think she was unhappy?
No. No, she thought she actually enjoyed her position. You know, that it satisfied a sense in her of what she had always expected her life to be.
Perhaps she had no choice.
Oh, I don't think so. Now, after all, she had other offers. You know, often I feel sorry for her, but more often I just think she doesn't feel it, you know, as you or I would.
He's here. Oh, Pierre. Oh, Pierre.
Pierre! Well, I explained to you I had to stay away. I explained to you.
Look at you. Oh, you look so pleased.
Oh, so much to tell you. What are the children?
They're all upstairs.
Can't talk about anything.
Maria. There they are! Oh!
Now, Pierre, don't get them all excited because they're ready for bed.
Do you know I bought you from Petersburg? Do you know I bought Oh, what a pretty girl. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take you all upstairs. Sergei, could you bring the brown box, please? I'm going to take you all upstairs, and I'm going to show you the presents I bought you. What's my bought you? Come on, up we go.
Come on, Pierre, dinner's at 8 o'clock.
Come down earlier.
Yes.
Natasha, let him come down earlier.
Oh, be quiet.
Oh, Vasily, come and have some wine and tell us all your news.
Well, then we tell our gentleman doesn't have any news. It's only gossip.
Well, your gossip.
Welcome back, Uncle Pierre.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Did you talk to all those important people?
Yes, I did, everyone. I'll tell you all about it. Tell you especially. Tell you later. Come along. Come along.
Nadia.
Oh, but is it still flourishing, Freemasonry?
All over Petersburg. You meet it everywhere.
Dear boy, how do you know? I thought it was supposed to be secret.
Well, they don't tell you in so many words, but they leave you in no doubt with broad hints and winks.
And its wife in the government.
Rife, yes.
So,
What is rife?
Freemasonry in Petersburg.
Oh, what is the country coming to? They should stamp it out.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that. After all, it's harmless enough, and there's some very good people in it. I think it's when secret cabals get into the government, then it
when have they not? I mean, if it's not Freemasonry, it's one clique or another.
Yeah.
Idiots get preferred just because they're in the clique.
What are you saying about the government, Denisov?
I'm saying they're a pack of fools, Countess.
Yes, you're always saying that. It's not right. Why, Prince Ivan's a splendid fellow. I know his aunt very well.
His aunt may be a splendid fellow, Countess, but Prince Ivan's an ass.
Oh, come on, Vasily. He does very well at the War Office.
Oh, dear boy. In the old days, you had to be German to get anywhere. Nowadays, you have to dance with Prince Ivan's daughters. It's all the same thing. I wish old Bonaparte were on the loose again. He'd knock some sense into all of them.
Pierre, is it still true that he's very ill on St. Helena?
Yes, so I hear. Although it may just be propaganda from his friends.
I think it's a shame to keep him there.
Oh, I can't feel sorry for such a man. Why, he was nothing. Just a common upstart, and he turned Europe upside down.
He was a brilliant general, Countess. He beat us hands down every time.
So it's easy for you to admire him, Denisov. You didn't have sons to lose.
Mama, please.
Mama, don't upset
I'm sorry.
yourself.
Dreadful man. Life will never be the same again. Never.
In some ways, it's better.
Never. You'll never convince me of that. Why, life had elegance and taste. People knew their place. Nowadays, it's just common and vulgar. Well, I suppose I'm just old woman. Nobody cares.
Oh, Mama, who do care?
Yes, I know you do, Sonia. I'm not so sure about anyone else.
Mama, Vasily was speaking simply as a soldier.
Of course.
He was saying how much he admired Bonaparte's professional skill. I must say, so did I.
Well, we all admired many things about him in the
Not
division.
me. You never heard me say a good word about that man. Why, he burnt us out of house and home, killed thousands of our people. Your own best friend among them.
Mama, please. What would Father have thought, Uncle Pierre? What would he have thought?
Well, your father, Andre.
I think he would have agreed with Uncle Pierre. He was a man who believed in change. Dear Andre.
Well, come along. It's time for presents. Countess. Macy. Tell you what I brought you from Petersburg.
In the drawing room?
Yes.
Think of an old woman. What is important is that you brought
Never mention Napoleon. I know, I never know.
us all up in this. She's impossible when you're away. I don't understand that. She used to be so independent. Now she either droops like a flower when you're not here, and she drives everyone demented. Now, what is this you brought?
Something I thought you'd like. Madame Malova.
Oh,
Little present for you.
sweetheart.
Maria?
Yeah.
Sonia?
Oh, thank you.
Natasha?
I hope you haven't spent too much money on me.
No, Adele tempted me. She got down at me. She said you'd adore it. Nikolenka. It's a book of maps. Every part of the world.
Thank you, Uncle.
Not at all. Vasily! Nikolai!
Oh, you wench, I bought you nothing.
Oh,
Thank you
yeah,
very
you
much,
are.
Pierre.
When am I going to wear this? How does it look?
Oh, John.
Thanks, Claire.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Thank you. So
Did you see Prince Vasily in Petersburg, Pierre?
Yes, I did. He's aged a great deal.
Ah, yes, I thought he would. He wasn't a man to wear well. And the Trubetskoys?
Yes, Boris is in Vienna. Julie, I saw Julie. She thrives.
On what?
On Boris, of course, and his dazzling career.
Yes, she would.
And what of Anna Mikhailovna?
I expected to see her at Anna Shearer's, but she didn't arrive. Apparently, her health has been very poor lately.
Oh, poor aunt, you must write to her, Mama.
Why should I? She's never written to me.
She's been ill.
Oh, my dear, I was more than good to her in the past when she needed it. Why, Boris was practically brought up in our house. Now they're all doing so well, they don't wish to know me.
Yeah, that's true, Mama. She has behaved rather badly.
When dear Ilya passed away, all I got was a little note from her 3 months afterwards. I never replied. Oh, well, it's all over and done with, all in the past. I'm an old woman, and I don't understand people anymore. I don't understand the world anymore. And that's Bonaparte. He changed everything. I shall never forgive him for it. Well, now I shall go to my room and read for a while. Thank you again, my dear. It was very sweet of you. As I said, it's not the gift that counts, but the thought behind it.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Mama, darling.
Good night. Good night.
And don't sit up all night talking.
No.
It's another day tomorrow.
Here, have a brandy.
Thank you.
Good night, Madame Valérie.
Please.
Good night.
Come and sit down. There, you all right?
Sleep good night,
Good night,
Denise.
Countess.
Good night.
Vasily? Well, thank you, goodbye.
Ah, it's me. No.
When did I really need you? Oh, yeah. Was it time to call right, really? I know she was very good.
Now then,
Tell us how Prince Fyodor was.
Yes. Was that who you went back to Petersburg to see?
Ah, yes. He sent me a letter just after we arrived here. Yes.
What about?
Well, as you know, I'm a founder member with the Prince of a certain society, which is dedicated to the advancement of the arts and the sciences.
Oh, one of those?
And, yes, one of those. And, our members were particularly agitated about certain things that were happening in the government, and so our policy towards it needed to be thrashed out.
What do you mean by certain things happening in the government?
Well, I mean that men like Arakcheyev and Golitsyn are practically the government now.
Really? It's the first I've heard of it.
I can't accept that. The Tsar's the head of the government.
Oh, no. No, the Tsar lets everything go. He's entirely wrapped up in mysticism now.
Well, what is this society of yours, dear boy? Is it going to help?
Well, it's a society of liberals and like-minded men who believe that we cannot stand idly by and leave things to men like Arakcheyev and Golitsyn.
Secret society?
And, yes, in a way, though it need not be.
Secret societies, whatever their intentions, always end up as conspiracies against the state.
They needn't.
No, it's better to leave things to the Tsar. He knows what he's doing.
Ah, Nikolai, the Tsar. All the Tsar wants is to be left alone. All he asks for is peace.
He's earned it.
No, he purchases it. At the price of handing over the government to men of no faith, no conscience. Russia cannot, must not, and will not stand still.
I would have thought we'd had enough action in the last few years to last us a lifetime. No, it's much better to leave things as they are.
Things won't stay as they are, Nikolai, whether we want them to or not. And if men like us do nothing about it, our men with fewer scruples will take over the government and the reins for themselves, believe me.
Well, I agree. They've certainly ruined the army.
The army's a case in point. I mean, men like Vasily, who know how to defend their country, know how to lead a division into battle, thrust aside in favor of incompetent fools who simply know how to lick the right boots.
Bravo, that's precisely spoken.
Oh, I don't see where this is getting us. I think you should go to bed.
Let him stay. Why shouldn't he hear these things talked about? For goodness sake.
But, Count, what do you propose?
Another harebrained scheme?
For goodness sake, Nikolai, listen first and then judge.
I'm listening.
No. Nikolai doesn't like to talk of change. He wants things settled, and I understand that. I sympathize with it. And, well, change is sweeping through Europe. What, are we to shelter Russia behind walls and forever remain somewhere in the Middle Ages?
But, Count, what do you propose?
Well, I'll tell you what I told the League of Virtue.
Good gracious, is that what you call yourself?
Sounds like a society of maiden aunts.
Never mind what it sounds like. What's happening in our country today? Larceny in the law courts and the army, nothing but flogging and drill.
I agree.
Everything youthful and honourable is persecuted. The Tsar wrapped up in his mysteries. The government seeing nothing but conspiracy everywhere, frightened of everything. It's action that is needed. Pressure. Pressure from the enlightened men of our age.
Yes, but action towards what end? Opposition to the government?
Well, preferably not. In fact, we could be its supporters if only it will listen to reason.
And if not?
Well, then pressure will come from below, and we won't be able to control it, neither us nor the government.
Yes, revolution.
Yes, revolution, inevitably.
And you'd support it?
Yes, if necessary, though not through choice, but yes. As I said to them in Petersburg, our society needs to become more like the German Tugendbund.
Subversive of law and order?
Preferably not, but if it has to be, yes.
No, my friend, I was with you till then. A Tugendbund's all very well for the sausage eaters, but I don't understand it. I can't even pronounce it properly. Now, everything's rotten and corrupt, I agree, but let's have something really Russian. A proper revolt now, and I'm your man.
Revolution never accomplished a damn thing that was any good. I'm opposed to it and always will be. A country must have a government whether you accept it or not. And it's our duty to obey it.
Under any circumstance?
Yes, under any circumstances. Listen, I'll tell you this. You're my best friends, both of you. Yeah. But if you were revolutionaries and the government asked me to lead a charge against you, I would do it. I wouldn't hesitate, not for a moment.
You're mad.
There. Now, what do you make of that?
Oh.
You're insane.
Nikolai, how can you be so foolish? You don't know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm saying.
Even your own son?
My son won't be a revolutionary.
Give him a choice.
What's going to be?
He'll be no son of mine if he is.
Well, if he is, then.
He'll know where his duty lies.
What a wonderful man my Uncle Pierre is. And my father. Father. Yes, I should do something even you would be proud of.
put out the lights. The family have gone to bed.
I don't understand him. I really don't. The Tsar wrapped up in mysteries. It's Pierre who's wrapped up in mysteries.
He always was a dreamer, you know that.
Yes, but this time he's gone too far. He really irritated me. I don't know what would happen to him if Natasha didn't keep him in hand.
I think they both have a good effect on each other.
Everything youthful and honorable being sacrificed. Where? I don't see it.
Pierre likes to feel at the center of things.
He's got too little to do, that's his trouble. Fancy Vasily taking his part. Would you have believed that?
Well, I think you must remember that Vasily feels very resentful about his career in the army.
Well, he has every reason to. He was a brilliant officer and they treated him badly. But that's no excuse for disloyalty.
No, I suppose not. What are you looking at? I didn't mean you to see that.
I didn't know that you kept a diary.
How about the children?
Andrusha was not at lunch today. Nikolai said he was to have no pudding. He had none, but looked so miserably and greedily at the others while they were eating. To my mind, punishing a child by not letting him have any sweet only encourages his greediness. I must tell Nikolai. You didn't mention it.
I was waiting for the right moment.
You are extraordinary. How is it you understand us all so well?
But I don't. That's why I keep the book. It helps.
You struggle all the time for all of us. Make us better than we are. I don't know what we'd do without you.
What would I have been without you?
I suppose I shouldn't have said that to Pierre just now.
Said what?
Oh, about leading a charge against him. It was a bit childish of me, wasn't it?
The way you said it, perhaps, but I think what you were saying was right.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
Well, I think it was because, well, young Nikolai was there and I didn't think he ought to hear such things.
I agree with you. We may run risks for ourselves, but not for our children.
That's exactly what I felt. Yes. I think that's why I got irritated. Oh, well, what does it matter? No, you're right about Pierre. He always was a dreamer. I fancy Vasily siding with him. I don't know what's got into him lately. Do you know what they're offering for the forest on the Tambov estate? 80,000 rubles. That's a lot of money. Things are going really well. Given another 10 years of life, I should see the children well provided for.
Is Prince Fyodor happy that we managed to get to Petersburg?
Oh, yes, because we settled a great deal.
And what else did you do?
Oh, I went to some dinners and parties.
Talked to a lot of pretty ladies.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I'm a jealous woman.
Tell me, how was it here while I was away?
Oh, you know how miserable I am when you're not here.
You didn't quarrel with Maria, did you?
Good heavens, no. How could I?
You ready for going home?
Yes.
Yeah.
In a week or so.
Yes, I think so. I love our visits here, and the children seem to enjoy themselves, but I know finally one begins to feel cut off. Yes. I couldn't live in the country. I don't know how Nikolai stands it. I suppose I missed the ferment of new ideas.
Nikolai's a born conservative. He hates new ideas.
He certainly talks enough, doesn't he?
Yes, talk.
Yeah. You see, for Nikolai, talk is an amusement, whereas for me it's a preparation for action. Can you understand it? I do. There he is, he's collecting a library for himself. He makes a rule for himself, never to buy a new book until he's read the last one. Then all that nonsense about leading a squadron against us. He didn't mean it, did he?
Of course not.
Well, why does he say it then? Is irresponsible.
Well, he just doesn't think, that's all.
No, he doesn't. Do you think my attitude was right? I mean, what I told them in Petersburg?
Of course it was. I really don't know what the League would do without you.
Yes, I feel that without me it would all fall apart. But I couldn't say that to anyone but you, of course.
I wonder what Platon Karatayev would have said. Would he have approved of you?
Oh, I don't know. I know perhaps not. One thing he would have approved of, though, was our family life. You know, sometimes when you talk about when we're parted and how you'd never believe the very special feeling I have for you when we are separated. Never.
Come to bed.
Yes. Yes.
What are you thinking about?
Oh, I suddenly thought of that comet of 1812. Yeah. Do you remember? I saw it from that bedroom window when you were ill. Just think, it wanders the skies forever and ever. And they say it won't come back for about 100 years.
We shouldn't be here.
No. I wonder what the world will be like when it does.
Oh, what a nonsense it all is.
What?
About honeymoons. The greatest happiness being at the beginning.
Huh.
Now is the best.
Yes.
Do you know, I think the little one is cutting a tooth.
It's a bit early, isn't it?
His little face was all red down one side today. Have a look at it tomorrow and see what you